gon' bring the game back? Who gon' spit that rainbow on the train tracks? That gold rope, that 5-finger ring rap. Running with my same pack. You can find the Christ where the lepers and the lames at. Life is like a dice game. One roll can land you in jail or cutting cake, blowing kisses in the rice rain.
Hey, peace everybody. What's going on, y'all? I just got done from coming back from church, and also just having a great day with my brother. Happy 45, man. Happy birthday, bro. I just wanted to run by a few quick thoughts. Just some updates. It's not gonna be a very long video. It's really like a video log, video journal, really. It's just some things to kind of look out for in the fall time, and I'm also just going to be just sharing some thoughts on certain things that I've been, kind of observing and just kind of coming to some conclusions about, about this whole Hebrew thing, the Hebrew movement, and also just some kind of what-if thoughts. My first what-if thought is, and you guys can put things in the comment section, especially, our fellowship base, the Shield Squad fellowship base. We just have, once again, I keep saying this is the third time I'm saying this, we have a growing body of people that are really following us. This week we just had some more people who have just been added, and they continue to kind of share how they actually came into knowing about the Hebrew movement, things that they've noticed that are lacking on the Christian side, things that they notice that are, a bit hypocritical on the Hebrew side. Not saying that Christianity is perfect either. But that's the first thing that I just wanted to at least acknowledge. And I really thank y'all for supporting us, for definitely praying for us. In the near future, in the fall time, I do plan on just having some open dialogues with you all. No longer the Black Hebrew Israelites. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a Christian Hebrew Dialogue Session 10. That's going to be my season finale. I may open it back up in the future, but for now, Session 10 is just going to be my final thoughts on all the sessions, and from there, I'm really going to promote that around. That I painstakingly took 9 sessions to really talk and examine and question and walk through a lot of dialogue that I've had with Hebrews. So, and if you guys want me to continue to do it, I may do another 10 sessions sometime in the late fall or early winter. Another thing is that I said this before, and I did a short snippet of a 1-hour presentation of it. But as of now, and of course this past time, I've been consistently working on a presentation that is now turning into what I'm gonna call my final refutation, or at least the one presentation that sums up all my presentations. I'm so far looking at least 179 slides. Okay, and all of these things that I'm putting together for this final piece that's coming in the fall time that I will walk through, which will be, like I said, my final presentation for a nice long while. All of these presentations have come from debates that I've had with Hebrews for the past few years. Specifically, this past year. Is this still going? Okay, good. Yeah, it's still going. And it's basically a lot of, arguments that, I've basically countered a lot by the time I was done with a lot of my debates. Mixed in with additional information. So like I said, it's going to be a very long presentation. And so, like I said, it's going to be coming from a lot of dialogues I've had and a lot of debates I've had. I'm also going to be doing a recap of, what's his name? Abaya. That was actually, in my opinion, a lot more enjoyable and enlightening than my dialogue with Chris Harris. You guys already seen how that turned out. The information is there for yourself. Obviously, there's some issues that simply ignoring or writing off things doesn't mean you actually disprove something. That's why I made that recap video. So I'm going to make a recap video of Abaya as well. And once again, you're going to be really surprised of the things that I'm going to highlight that's basically the crux of what both of us are saying. Because I don't want anyone to miss it. So that way the crowd could be like, oh, okay, so he's talking about this and he's talking about that. And then they can finally see what the Bible is talking about. And then from there, the people can make their choice. Right? So I'm going to be working on that. Also, I have 2 what-ifs. And this has a lot to do with the future as well. 1, what if the soldiers of God and the Shield went to New York to kind of, I guess, clean up the streets in terms of the ISUPK? What if we went up there once or twice a year and we actually started talking and dialoguing with people? What if we told people when or what Saturday we would be there? How many people would actually kind of show up to, watch something like that go on and see where things go? What if the soldiers of God took up their shield and, came together? Those are things I think about as well. The second thing is, what if, well, I don't have to say what if about this because this is true. Seeing how fast that the IUIC had come out with a video against the One Truth Conference that happened earlier this year in Florida, that I never lost sight of that. That lets me know that the IUIC is really they're really concerned, because I've said this before in our yearly recap video, and I'll say it again. The people that are following us, right? The text, the emails, and the people who follow us, the comment section, the layman, the average layman Christians, they're getting smarter. And I think that the IUIC is starting to see that. And I think the One Truth Conference is something that they're keeping their eye on, because, we all pretty much know that the soldiers of God and Shield and perhaps even other groups that may come along from right now till that time may come. Will definitely be there at the One Truth Conference in 2018. We will be there, and it will be radically different from the One Truth Conference of this year. I think the One Truth Conference was great. Oh, hold on, let me see if it's still going. Yes, it's still going. I think the One Truth Conference was awesome, but I know they're going to have it next year, and you better believe. Oh my gosh. Just know that the IUIC made a quick response video to the One Truth Conference for a reason. And it's because they really are concerned. I had some predictions that I kind of kept silent on about the IUIC, and I wish I would have just came out with it earlier. But now the things I'm about to say you already see, which means I should have just said this a long time ago. I remember a long time ago, I saw people calling themselves Black Hebrew Israelites, and all of a sudden they called them Hebrew Israelites, and after that they called themselves just Israelites. I remember when I first started seeing that, I thought to myself, you know what, one day there's going to be white Hebrew Israelites. Now, technically there are, because, you know, you got British Israelism, which started in the 1640s, technically. And, of course, you got Christian identity, it started in the 1930s. And this is some type of historical things that I'm also going to make videos on. I'm going to show you where this stuff actually comes from. And, yeah, that's another story, but now all of a sudden, I look and I see, you know, actual whites in the IUIC. Matter of fact, if you check Zakari's channel, they're there. There's a white guy. Then, sometime on April 27th, GMS had put out a video talking about how IUIC is telling their congregation to shut up about the white man. So you can look at that. GMS basically, you know, I don't need to make a video about that. You can just watch what GMS says. Okay? Now, I believe personally there's a lot of reasons why they're telling their congregation to do that. You know, but my next prediction is that one day the IUIC and perhaps other groups will no longer be on the streets. I personally believe that this is my prediction, that they will end up like the Mormons. They will end up like the Mormons. I remember in my house, I would actually have Mormons at my house. I mean, I spoken with them for about 3 months of Saturdays. 3 months. Every time I would, you know, ask them about or tell them certain places I was going to research, they gave me a card with their website, 24-hour hotline of asking questions, but they said they did not want us to look online or anywhere else. Let's see, it's still going. Yes, it is. And basically, I see the IUIC doing the same thing, because it's bad enough that their own leader, Bishop Nathaniel, will not debate. Now, yes, he's debated before, maybe like once or twice. And if you look at those debates, they're pretty much just kind of washed up, very old Christians. Especially the last one, which is in 2015, 2014 or something. And they make these flyers like it's the debate to end all debates. And I'm like, this is terrible. So they pick fights they can win. After that, you pretty much don't see them debating at all. There's some other things I'm going to show about that. How there was an order that went out from Bishop Nathaniel by Officer Liam, L-I-A-M. He said, listen, I'm sick of you guys. You know, you can check his Facebook page. You have to research it. And there was an order from the bishop that says, listen, stop going on Facebook and making us look bad. You know, in other words, they don't want anyone kind of getting into any kind of dialogue or debate. They don't. That's why IUIC members are never on Debate Talk for You. So this is the reason why I keep on saying, this is my prediction, that they will end up like the Mormons. You're not going to see them on the streets anymore. Because why? Because every time you end up challenging them to their debate, well, now all of a sudden that's on camera, and all of a sudden, oh, their business, church, I'm sorry, their church, you know, will suffer in numbers. Also, you know, now I'm going to test to see if this is true, this next one. There is a brother, I'm not going to say his name, but he's an ex-IUIC member. I'm not going to say where he's from. And he has said that they have been ordered not to debate with me, not to dialogue with me at all. The IUIC members that were in front of the Burlington building, where we catch the P1 in downtown Pittsburgh, and they're there every Saturday, they've been given order not to actually engage with me at all. And I know why. You know, I remember the brother said that he was there that day when he was in the camp. And, you know, they said that they basically called me an upgrade. And so, from there, you know, they were ordered not to debate with me. Why is that? So this is another nugget, another clue. These are things that I think about. And so, like I said, I'm calling it early. I will not be surprised if the IUIC begin to minimize where they start teaching on the streets, and eventually they just stop teaching on the streets. Or it might be so strategic somewhere, that it'll be very secluded, or it'll be much more strategic. I know that. So yeah, those are my thoughts about just pretty much where I'm at with it, and where I'm trying to go. I'm going to be turning a lot of my dialogue from the Hebrews to the average everyday Christian. The people that we've been building with. I'm going to have, try to have live hangout conversations with them, and to have little Bible study sessions with them. Other than that, I think in terms of, there is one more thing that's kind of itching my brain a bit. Is this still on? Okay, yes. There is one more thing that is kind of itching my brain a little bit, and it's this. I want to have, at least maybe sometime in the future, this is off chronology. Okay, this is something I personally want to do. My next hangout I do want to have is just with an Israelite or a Hebrew, and I really want to ask them, why would it be better for me to actually partake in the Hebrew faith instead of the Christian faith? Because I'm telling you, this final presentation that I'm coming up with, 179 slides so far, I'm so convinced. It's not even funny. I mean, I'm finding things now that I cannot wait to share with y'all. Things in the scriptures that I just never even noticed. I'm not gonna say what those are yet, but I've been digging deep into the scriptures, and I've just been, once again, studying a lot of things. I've updated my eSword again. Yes, I've updated it again. So that's the reason why you see a lot of new material coming out of my Pure Myths series. And if you guys got any other kind of things that you would like me to do Pure Myths on, please let me know. I had a brother to say, hey, you need to do a Pure Myths on Isaiah 28, and I did it. Okay? They put in the comment sections, they text me. Once again, my number is 412-863-5173. I'm always open, always available. And listen, not all Israelites are created equal, okay? For example, there are a few brothers that I still love and respect, and that I would, love to just build with. And that would be Robert Reed. That would also be, what's his name? We did about 2 sessions between similarities and differences. Brother Zadok. Those are more what I call more moderate Hebrews, and to me, I guess in terms of Christian Hebrew dialogue, I would actually deem them the more dangerous of the two. And what I mean by danger, I don't mean they're evil, bad people. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that comparing people like them to the ISUPK is like night and day. And I've heard other Israelites actually call those guys Christians because of how they are and what they believe. For their other extreme Israelites, brothers, they're just not Israelite enough. So they'll call them Christian light. Get that? But yeah, people who really don't kind of understand a lot of what the Hebrew Israelites believe, they'll go to, people like them. But they're not gonna, go into any ISUPK or sometimes they'll avoid the IUIC. They'll go to more moderate people that kind of really understand this. Plus you have the Hebrew Roots movement, Messianic, and that's a whole nother thing. But yeah, and I think also people only kind of listen to the IUIC because they dress nice. And they look really great from the outside. And they use lots of dazzling imagery. Right? But it's funny because once you actually begin to actually challenge the silly stuff that they do, because they have a real fear of actual church history, their doctrines just fall apart. You know, once you take away the smoke screen, all the nice images, and all the ooh, this looks like it's true. Once you actually examine the books that they're using and all this stuff, it just falls apart. And I know what you're thinking, like, well, why hasn't myself or anyone else just looked at one of their videos and totally dismantle them? Because I could spend, you know, a whole lot of time, you know, just looking at one video and dismantling the whole thing. But meanwhile, they got like podcasts and radio shows and all bunch of stuff. So it's like, why do it? You know what I'm saying? So you have to think of something that's more like an all-in-one kind of thing instead of just this one video, you know. Let me see, is it still on? Yes, it is. Wow, okay, it's 20 minutes now. So I guess I kind of got to wrap this up. Also, beautiful shout out to Soldiers of God. I listened to you guys' latest video, and that was totally awesome. That was a really good job. I learned a lot. You know, and you guys were definitely hitting on some things that I actually wanted to make, you know, once again, a little historically exposed series out of. If you listen, Faithful to God gave a wonderful piece on how the British Israelites are no different than the Black Hebrew Israelites that came after them. You know, and this is something I've been wanting to kind of turn into a little series, but I haven't done that quite yet because I've been so busy with other stuff. I don't know which one of us are going to do it first. You know, it might be them, it might be me. Either way, it'll be, you know, somebody. I haven't seen anyone on YouTube kind of pull it off yet, so you know, I may do that sometime in the near future. It's very powerful because if you really think about it, people actually think that the Hebrew Roots movement or the Black Hebrew Israelite movement is original. And it's not. They think it's biblical, and it's not. It's just not. I know you want me to go into some things, but no, that's not the video for right now. Like I said, I'm just kind of sharing where I'm at, certain things that I'm thinking about in the future, and you know, like I said, just where I'm at. So other than that, y'all, that's pretty much it. This video is now, oh boy, 22 minutes. I only meant for it to be 10 or 15. Yeah, guys, drop a line. Please subscribe, like, rate. You know, yeah, same thing, right? Leave a comment. You know, oh, you know what? Speaking of the comment section, one thing I find interesting about the people who leave comments. Have you ever heard someone like say like a really passionate point that they're really focused on, but they say something that technically could lead to or talk about or lead to something else, and the person in the comment section, you know, they harp on that instead, as if it blows out their main point. That's been a problem. You know, I think one of the biggest ones was I got, now get this, his name is Big Spin. Yeah, get that. This guy's name is Big Spin, and he's been, you know, on my comments videos for years. And I remember one time we tried to get him in a hangout, but he just said no. He said the app wasn't working. It's like, well, how is the Google Hangout app not working and you're typing us? Oh, my kids are eating dinner and I gotta go. It's like, okay. So, but he loves to type, and these guys will end up saying that, you know, Satan is a man. Now, of course, you know, if you think about the IUIC or the ISUPK, some of y'all already know where I'm going with this, okay? But yeah, they say Satan is a man. And this is, I guess, their theological backing of when they say, you know, the white man is the devil and the white man is Esau and all this other stuff. And that's one of the things that I find as an issue with the whole Hebrew movement. You know, the enemy is no longer the devil. Now the enemy is a person. That's your focus now, right? The white man, right? That is your focus. You will tell yourself that, hey, I don't have problems with people. I love all people. But yet, every time you think of Satan, you no longer think of an actual being that is the incarnation of evil. You don't think of that anymore. You know, this person who has other demons with him that rebel against God and get people to do the same thing. You don't do that anymore. Now your focus is white man. That's a problem. And you can fool yourself all you want. Oh, I know the white man is technically not the devil and blah, 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 blah. But every time that you think about the devil now everything is theologically aimed at him. Meanwhile, the Bible says we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but principalities and powers in high places, right? And yet these principalities in high places, what do? They influence or affect the thoughts of the mind that affect the body, right? But yet, all that goes away now. Now you just think about some man, you know. So that's one, just one issue I've had. There's plenty of others, you know. I'm not gonna go into it. Maybe I'll save that for a separate video, because like I said, this is just just call this a video log of just where I'm at, and I might do another video log because as I'm making these videos, I don't want anyone to misunderstand me. I don't want anyone to have any kind of odd, weird, preconceived notions of me and, I got this secret agenda. Like, nah, I don't have an agenda at all. My only agenda is to actually preach the gospel and divide the truths from the lies. I'm very concerned when I see people who are very hungry for a deeper, walk with God, but I don't want it to be at the expense of Christ and the things that he and the gifts that he's given. He's given the church. I don't want church anymore. I want Israel. Okay, he called his followers Christians. God himself called his followers Christians. That title came from God. You can check my one of my Pure Myth series. I forget which video it is. But no, that's not good enough. Now we want to be called Israelites. That's what we want to be called. Even though all of church history shows that, hey, the people that are followers of Christ are Christians, right? They're Jews and Gentiles, but they are called Christians. But that's not good enough. I don't want to be a part of the church. I want to be a part of the 12 tribes of Israel. I don't look forward to heaven. I now look forward to, the new heaven and earth and all that, and how Christ is going to set up his kingdom. That's what I look forward to. So that way we can own our land as an inheritance. Now I'm getting into some of my studies, and I said I wouldn't do it. And when you look up what Jesus and the disciples, especially the disciples, put an emphasis on inheritance, it's not the land of Israel. It's not a land of the size of New Jersey. It's not. It's the kingdom of God. Not only that, but good, it's still going. I'm also going to show how the Christians were the ones that were called strangers. Yeah. The Christians were the ones, in the New Testament, of course, that were called exiles, pilgrims. I'm going to also show you that they were called the people whose citizenship was in heaven. This is what the disciples are saying. They're treating the entire earth experience of life as the wilderness. And they're treating heaven as the promised land. That's what the Christians in your New Testament are doing. And I find the Hebrew roots people, Hebrew Israelites, whatever you want to call them, saying, oh, no. I want to be an Israelite. You know, we went through the wilderness and God is going to give us a promised land. We're going to take Israel back. Meanwhile, the Christians in the New Testament, they're focused up there. And the Hebrews, they're focused down there. I could get into a whole bunch of other stuff about Hebrews chapter 11. I could get into a whole bunch of stuff about Philippians chapter 1 and Philippians chapter 3 and all these other things that I've been studying, just about the, Galatians chapter 4 and, the heavenly Jerusalem, Hebrews chapter 12 and the Jerusalem that is above, that is free. All these other things, how the temple is going to come down out of heaven. The new city of Jerusalem is going to come down out of heaven from God. That means no man built that. That is what the Christians are focused on. That's what they're so gloriously thankful for, and that's what they wait for. Hebrew Israelites, they're excited because they think that they're going to finally get to rule in a land the size of New Jersey, over there somewhere. Meanwhile, the Christians, you reading your Bible, and this is the reason why I'm not going to jump over to the Hebrew side. Yeah, you're getting, happy about earthly things. Meanwhile, you look in the book of Revelation, and it says there's going to be a new heaven and a new earth. And didn't Jesus say something about that in Matthew chapter 5? Till heaven and earth pass away, right? There's going to be a new heaven, new earth, and this city of Jerusalem, this temple, it's going to come down onto this new earth. And they call it New Jerusalem. Paul called it in Galatians 4, the Jerusalem above. Hebrews chapter 12, the heavenly Jerusalem. So many other passages I could do. And like I said, I keep on noticing this spiritualization of what happened to the Jews in the Old Testament is now being applied to Christians in the New Testament. And this is the reason why the New Testament fulfills the Old Testament. Read this stuff. It's there. I'm going to bring out things like, I'm going to get into this more, but you could read the book of Philippians. The book of Philippians, that was the first Gentile church that was set up, period. Read about the book of Philippians. Read about the church of Philippi. He ended up saying to them that, now at this point he was talking to the antinomians, okay? Antinomians means against law, not against the law of Moses. Because notice what they complain about as the context of why they call them antinomians. Sexual perversion, right? Idol worship, all that stuff. Sexual perversion, idol worship, all that stuff. A lot of complaints about what they had about the Gentiles in Acts 15, right? Not one complaint about they didn't keep the Sabbath, they didn't keep the food laws, they didn't sacrifice, keep the feast days. They didn't, no, none of that. It's what we would call today people who go against the moral law. That's what we say today. In the first century, they just called them antinomians. Today, these are people who are against the moral law, which existed before the law of Moses. It's a whole other thing. Don't want to get into it. But he says in Philippians that these people glory in their shame. Now, of course, I know he's talking to the antinomians who have sex with prostitutes and idol worship prostitutes and all that, and they eat meat offered to idols and all, and that's shameful. But, I kind of thought of another group of people that also glory in their shame. This is Philippians chapter 1. Read it. I thought about how the black Hebrew Israelites always like to identify themselves, knowing who they are, by how they're cursed. We know that we are the Israelites because we have these curses upon us, right? That's called glorying in your shame. See, this is my problem. Every time I look to see what the disciples are complaining against, I keep on finding that the black Hebrew Israelites fit these narratives everywhere, no matter where it is. No matter where it is. And yet, when it comes to the Christians, I find that the Jews actually say things that the Hebrew Israelites also accuse the Christians of. Ain't that something? So they were getting the same accusations, you know. Other than that, I think what G-Con is doing is awesome. You know, that's my brother, man. That is my big bro, like to the end. Check out his open Bible chat and Bible Talk series. It's kind of like it's like a version of what I've been doing with my Christian Hebrew dialogue. It seems like it's on session number 3, and they're about to go on session number 4. I hope he does a session number 4. That'll be great. Also, check out how he did a video against a guy named Michael Edwards, who actually tried to hack his account. Get that, right? I'm gonna check that out. I tried to check it out a little bit of it, but yeah, I was too sleepy. You know, I took my girlfriend out to P.F. Chang's last night. We had a good time. Nice Chinese restaurant. Yeah. Hey, babe. And what else? What else? I think that's it. You know, I might do another video vlog about a little bit more stuff that I talked about why I couldn't be a Hebrew Israelite. And also, I think I'll do another video log on just getting to know me. Because like I said, I don't want anyone to, you know, have some odd takes on me. Oh, time out. That's my big bro Rick. I gotta go. Gotta do some business stuff, man. I'll see y'all later. Peace and blessings.